Hello everybody, my name is Janine and welcome to my lantern drawing workshop for the Lantern Festival. So what we're going to do today is we're going to draw some colorful lanterns I can show you some examples in a style like this, or like this, like this, which is like a technique I've learned in school. So it's quite a long time I've done this, but it's quite interesting because what we're going to do is we color our paper in really bright colors. Then we put a layer of candlewax on it and put another layer of black or any other color where you then can scratch out your lantern. So if we start with, I'll show you first what materials we're going to use today. So we will need, obviously, some paper. You can use any paper you like. Ideally, a bit of thicker paper because it might need to take a lot of color and water. So if you have a bit of thicker art paper, that will be fine. But you can also, it's like I've done it in my sketchbook, so it's you can use any paper. Then obviously you need some brushes, any brushes that will do. Some colors. So I definitely will be using some watercolors. And for the second layer, you can either use acrylic or I might use some gouache. That will work too. You've got your palette where you mix your colors, some water. You will need another little bowl because we're using some washing up liquid. You just need a tiny amount of washing up liquid. And we also need some candle. So either you can use like an old candle like I have here for the candle wax, or you just use a tea light. Probably you have that at home. So that's really easy. And obviously if you prepare this at home, maybe if you have like some cardboard or a newspaper, so you have like a workspace where you can be a bit messy. Yeah. So then that's pretty much it. And probably some tissue paper as well to dry off the color. So we start straight away. What I will be doing is I will color the whole paper with some really bright watercolor first. And yeah, let's do this. So what we do, I've got a bit of yellow and red because those are really nice, colorful, vibrant colors also for Chinese New Year that will in the end be really sticking out once you've done the black in contrast. So I'll just put some yellow on here. Then I will do some bit more orange yellow. And then we use some brilliant red. And a bit darker red. So you can actually use any colors you like for the background. You can also use wax pencils. That would work. That will basically remove the wax. So that would work too. But I quite like these working with watercolor. So what we're going to do, we take our brush, take any brush, and what I will do is I start with the lighter color first, and we just put this on the paper. So, and we just color the whole paper. So I think this will be quite nice later on when you do your lantern, because I know my lantern will be kind of in the middle, so it will be lighter in the middle and then a bit darker on the outside. So what you just color and at the moment I use watercolor because it also dries very quickly. So you don't have to wait too long once you do the next step. So yeah, you can be really, really messy with this. So you don't need to be very precise. So you can kind of mix the colors up. Yeah, mix it in. So we go over the edge as well. So that's why I have my cardboard here. So let's make this color a bit of orange. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so here we've got some orange. Very good. You just fill the page. And you can actually use any color. You can make it as colorful as you like. I always like the more colorful, the better. So let's also see if it mixes up a bit here. Sometimes you can use a bigger brush to cover a bigger area of your paper. So and down here we go a bit. Let's go a bit red as well, more red. Down here we will go, yeah, dark red. Okay, so once we're quite happy with this, so once the whole paper is covered, we then just need to wait until it's dry. So before we move to the next step. Okay, so let's have it like this. So let's leave it there, and we just wait until this dries now, because then we can put some candle wax on it. So we will just, if you get your candle wax or your tea light ready, then we just will cover the whole page with candle wax once this is dry. So while our colourful paper is drying, because we want to make a lantern, what we want to do is basically this kind of lantern shape, which is this. So in order to practice this, we practice this character first, which is the good luck character in Chinese. It's Fu. And yeah, if you want to practice with me, we start practicing the character first. So then later on we have not too much trouble, yeah, doing it. So I use a bit of a smaller brush now, and we just take any color again. Just do the red one, I quite like the red one. So again, you practice first, like your top, I can do a bit. So you practice your top bit, then you go this way, then down. I'm not a professional, I've never done this before. So, so any calligraphers out there, for you, you probably can do it much better than I do. So we then do our up, to the side, up, a bit like a square, and then down here, yeah, and then you have another bigger square at the bottom, this way. You do this cross first, and then at the end, like like this. Okay, so yeah, we can practice this a bit so you know what you need later on will carve out. So we do a few more. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's do a bit of a different color. So we try this a bit again. Now we try a bit more what it actually looks like. So we try with a small, then this one comes more in, down. This is just like a little here. And okay, for the second, this is more horizontal, and then we do a small square, and then we need to do a bigger square because it's for luck, so we want lots of luck. It needs to be bigger. Okay, so this one will be down, and then we make this a bit bigger, come in, and then close. Yeah, so if we can try it more like this, we try 2 more, and then we go, then this will be dry, and we will do our next bit. So we try 2 more, where we do it a bit more, just this, come into the side, down, and then this is horizontal, small square, and then our bigger square for lots and lots of luck, because we want lots of luck this year. Okay, and then we try one last one. So if you do it with me, just basically send me your signs, because even if you can do it a bit better and you have a bit more knowledge in calligraphy, you can show me and teach me how to do these. Okay, so, and just a bit more color. So we do yes, small square, and then we do a bigger one. Okay, good. So this is pretty good. Now our other paper is dry, which is quite good. Now you can, we need to put some candle wax on it, because that's the way where we can at the end carve the black stuff out. Otherwise the colors will stick together and you won't be able to carve anything. You just carve the paper out. So if you have, you can use an old candle. I used old candles before, but if you have a tea light, you can use a tea light. We start with a tea light today. Yeah, so what we do is, so yeah, this is nice and dry now. We just start basically putting lots of wax on the whole paper. So sometimes if you put it a bit, you can see where you've already done it and where you didn't do it. I just need to put this aside because this is, so yeah. So you really press down on your candle wax because you want it really nice and smooth. You also, it's like the texture feels a bit different after you've done it. So So you see it also comes down quite nicely on your candle. So again, you want to make sure you cover your whole paper. All the edges, especially the middle, because that's where later on we carve everything out. Okay, so let's do the side here as well. So it's really good if you burn candles and you always, you always have like one little piece left where you can't do anything with it. It's really good to recycle your old candles. Yeah, and you can make really nice pictures, and you don't have to throw basically things away, which gives it a second use. I really like that bit too. Because sometimes you think like, oh, what do I do with all my old candles? I can't use them anymore. So, okay, so that looks pretty good. Let me just have a look. Sometimes you can see, yeah, you can see there is like really the wax film. You can see if you covered your whole page. So if you, I think I missed out a bit here, but that's not too worrying. Just do one last one here. Okay, so once we've waxed the whole paper, so sometimes if you, instead of watercolors, if you use like crayons with wax already in it, that will help as well. Then you don't need to wax it. So now we go over and paint this all black. But before we use the black, we need to use a bit of washing up liquid as well. So I'll put a bit of washing up liquids in here. And then I use black gouache color. You can also use black acrylic, that works too. I've never tried it with watercolor, so you could give it a try, but I don't know how it works out. Definitely, yeah, gouache or acrylics, they work. So let's try this. So we use our brush from before, and what we do now is we mix a bit of black with a bit of, not with all of it, with a big bit of washing up liquid, right? So you make sure you have a bit of washing up liquid in there. And then you just go, put this one back here, so that helps a bit. And then you just go over your paper as well. So you cover your whole paper in black. So sometimes it might look, it's like a bit of a funny texture, but don't worry, that's all fine. Yeah. So if you feel like the washing up liquid makes it a bit bubbly in there, if you feel you're missing out a bit of washing up liquid, just add a bit more. So just add a bit of water to, yes, to cover the whole thing. Make it nice and black. So I probably could have used a bigger brush. But I quite like it. It's a bit meditative as well. You just go ahead with your brush and you can think about what it will look like later. So yeah, just really cover the whole thing. You can actually, you don't have to use black. You can use different colors. Like I did here, I used green or blue. So if you use different colors, I usually would recommend using complementary colors. So it's like if you use a green, you want a red underneath because that's a complementary color. Or if you use like in this case, I used orange at the bottom and blue on the top because blue is the complementary color, because then it sticks out more, or it's kind of, yeah, the contrast is bigger or nicer. So I think I'm going to need to add a few more bits in here. So you can practice your patience as well. So maybe you can also tell me, what are your favorite colors? What are your favorite complementary pairs? Yeah, so if you know them, like red and green, or orange and blue, or yellow and blue, and orange and violet. So we can see, it doesn't matter that it shines through a bit, because that adds to the effect later on anyway. So and yes, just take this all in. just go over in the middle again, so that's all fine. So yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. Now we just wait until this dries. But in the meantime, we can practice some lantern shapes. So we just wait until this dries. I'll just put this over here. And get my other piece of paper. And before, I had a bit of a look how Chinese lanterns look like, right? So you can have many shapes. So at the moment you also see, usually they are like this oval shape, like this oval shape. And then they have some like kind of some tassels down here, or they have some others. But then you can have like a bit of smaller lanterns, which are a bit thinner, or you can have one that kind of, you can, which are like a harmonica that goes down and up, which have like these little things. Yeah, so let's practice actually some lanterns so we can have the shape, because once this is dry later on, so we know once we carve it out, because with this technique there's no going back. Once you made your mark and you maybe messed up, you might need to start the whole process again. So it would be good if we can practice some lanterns now. We can do different shapes. Let's try to practice a few of these. You also, it's like, if it would be really good if you maybe have some lanterns at home and you have a look how they look like. What kind of shapes do they make? Are they more round? Are they more oval? Are they square? There are some square, or do they look a bit more like a cylinder? So yeah, you can do either look it up at home or look it up on the internet. So let's see if we are, again, here I just use a smaller brush, and you can also use a pencil if you're not that confident in your shapes, but it doesn't really matter if you mess up on this one here too. So let's do a like one of the normal oval ones. So usually I start with the top. So you have a bit of like a square top here, and then you have a bit like a square at the bottom of the lantern. And then what you can do, if you're not so sure about your oval shape, you can mark like a bit here on the side where you want your oval go through, and then you just do one like this, go around. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then you do another one where it goes the same way round. Awesome. And then you can do like your piece here. So this is a lantern we will make later on, where we can have our Chinese character, and here have our sides here, which will show us the lantern, but sometimes you can do a bit more like this, so it shows like where it folds. And then you can do a top, which can be a bit like this. You do a square one, and you can have stripes. And then this is where it hangs up. So, and then we do a bit of a bottom where you, again, you do a bit like this, square, and then it just comes down like in a, so you can be really creative with this. So this is one shape, one more traditional shape. Then we can try a bit more like a one that's longer. Let's do a bit of more yellow color. And this again, you start with the top, the bottom, and then if you have in between, we go for this one here. You go your lines here where they fold, and then you move your paper and you just go like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and the same on the other side. So it's very easy to look out for the shapes, the overall shapes the lantern make. And again, you have like somewhere where it hangs up at the top. And some tassels at the bottom. So, do a bit of color. So that's just the basic shape of this lantern. Let's do a more traditional one, which can be like, again, you start with the top, the bottom, and then it will be more like this, round. And then again, you do a little square, and your tassels. And here, again, you just mark your folds. Down, down. Okay. So let's try the one we want to make, actually, just as the as a bit of a practice, run on this one here. So how we want to start doing this is pretty much we start with our character. So what we will be going to do is we will start with our character, a bit smaller now. So it goes here, then here, down, up. And then we have our square, our small square, and then our bigger one. Okay, so this will be the center of our piece once this is dry. And all we do then is pretty much we mark our top. This will be our top square. And then we do a bottom one too. And from there, we then go like a bit round this way and round the other way. And then we kind of, I always just like do a little dot here, do a little one here, which you need to go through as well. So if you move your paper then, there you go. And the other way. This is a bit wonky, but it doesn't matter. Later on it doesn't matter. So there you go, that already looks pretty good as a mock-up lantern. So you then obviously can later on put some details in. So yeah, and we can do the top as well. Let's do a bit more like a top and the bottom. Well, we don't have enough space yet, but we will. Tassels are easy anyway. So, and the top, we can do a bit like this square, like a square symbol later on, and that's where it hangs up. Okay, so that's already a bit of practice of your lanterns. So to see what you actually want to carve out once the paper is dry, you can actually make these into your own little pictures. As if you then also would like to maybe color them in to make them a bit colorful. Oops. Same with these. If you give it a bit of contrast, that's always good. So let's do this one as well, but maybe a bit lighter, even a bit more yellow. Yeah, very good. So this is already, yeah, pretty good. So what you also can do is, if you want to make some symbols or some details, you can go, once it's dry, you can go over it with a black felt tip or a black ink and make it a bit more contrasty. So yeah, I think we should practice a bit like this before you want to go on the paper before we start this. So we start that in a minute once it's dry. Okay? Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're back. We're back. Hopefully this is all dry now. If not, we find out in a minute. So what we're going to do now is obviously carve out the lines we've done here before. Those will all show the colored bit of our lantern that we want to make. You can either use a carving. I've got a carving tool, but you don't have to have this. You can also use just the end bit of your brush. That works as well. Or you could use a toothpick or a skewer. Like skewer works too. That's quite fine. But I will use this, but you can use any sharp thing to carve things out. So let's start with our character again here. So in the middle, so let's see how we do this best. So let's do this. We do our character first. So you can, I'll just do it slowly first. So you then can see how we make the mark here. And then we go pretty much, so we were then going here. And then we were coming back. So do it a bit more. So this should be all right. And then we're going down. So you can see it's already quite bright. That's where we had our yellow color. This is really cool. And then this is just a little one. That's cool. And then we start our horizontal. Yeah, I like this. Then our small square or rectangle. It's more like a rectangle actually. So go down, close. And now we do our big one for good luck. You see, it's like all the black stuff comes in. Okay, so then we do our big, so the bigger one. So here, and then we make a bigger square down across. And close. So that's already pretty good. So we've got already our character in the middle. So this will be the middle of our lantern. So pretty good. Now, so the easiest way now is basically to mark the top of your lantern by just doing a horizontal line like this. And then we can already do the top of the lantern here, do another horizontal, that's pretty good, and then we do one at the bottom, same. You can already slightly curve it because that will be this, down, so sometimes, so you see, we're already seeing different colors now. And then now we do our first oval. So oval here. And then we do another one here on the side. Very good. So the more you want to show the colors, the more you need to scratch out, obviously. Yeah. So, and then we do our side bit already. So mark the side where I want to go through. And then what you do is just see if you can do one straight. Sometimes it helps if you move your paper around. Yeah. And then the other side as well. So I can do it a bit better this way. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep on going. So you can do some details already in here. I'll just put some details already in. Okay, so let's make the top as well. So this is going to be the top. And we do a bit of a square at the top. So let's do it this way. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see if we do. This is where it hangs up. And, come back to this a bit later. So let's do the bottom bit. Okay, so this will be down, and we do a bit of a round shape. Yeah, and then below the round we do the tassels here. So they go down like this. Okay, cool. And then, so what we do up here, okay, and then this is your, okay, and then so what we can carve out a bit more. So you can either leave it like this, or we can make a bit of a we can do like the background a bit like this. That might be quite nice because, and the way we do this is, let's do this like a square. So if we go down like this and pretty much this This is a bit like doing a scratch card. It's really nice. So you're pretty much, oh, let's do this way around. We can do it a bit better. And then we do one up here. Go all the way around. And the same way down here. Oops. So this is where you just need to be careful about your edges. So here also you see our nice colors we did earlier, because now we have our nice effect where orange goes into yellow, goes into a bit more red, and it comes out really nicely because the black makes it stand out. And let's do the top as well. So again, if you want to put more details in, it's entirely up to you what kind of symbols you want to use, or if you want to use more characters, you can put a character there and there, or you can put another a symbol. So in a minute we might want to do another. So this is the easy part. So it's more where it's kind of coming in, where it's a bit more. Yeah. So. So yeah, you can already see, very colorful. You can obviously also do it the other way around. If you want to scratch less, you can, whatever is black now, but then you would need to scratch around the bits. Okay, and last bit. And let's make a nice border down here. And same down here. Yeah, and ready is our lantern. There you go. Okay, so this is obviously our finished lantern. Again, I'll show you again. Yours hopefully looks like this as well. So if you have any questions, just let me know or write us a message, and I hope you enjoyed this workshop. But what I want you to do is, because I hope you all followed along with this, I really would like to see your lanterns. So it would be really a good thing if you can send us your pictures, so we also then can promote your pictures on our social media channels. And it will be really cool for me to see how you get along with this and what you make of it, what colors you use, what lanterns, how your lanterns look like, what your symbols look like. And yeah, so I'm quite excited to see this. I wish you all a happy Lantern Festival. And I also hope you enjoyed our Chinese New Year celebrations. And I wish you all a very good New Year of the Ox.